Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath and I'm going to be answering a comment that was pretty involved under one of the videos that was posted here recently. I think it's about sealing their words with positive energy or something of that nature. What I will say here is this is from a long time, seal their positive words with a prayer and so it is, amen. This is about embracing your energy as an empath to begin again or to help someone to ascend or evolve. The same is true for your haters. When they speak negativity over themselves and you know that people are being covert or sending shots your way, seal that with and so it is, amen as well. So that's just a little nugget. Go watch those videos. I think there's good information in both. However, I have a longtime subscriber named Jenkan, who is, I want to say, she is in Europe. From what I recall, I don't remember if it's Amsterdam or Sweden, or if I've got it completely wrong, Germany. I don't know. Forgive me, Jenkan, for misplacing your residence. However, I'm going to be reading her letter and going through what she asked. She had some questions for me, and I thought that they were great questions to just answer in a video instead of in a written format, because maybe these are questions that some of you guys have had. She starts out, hello again, dear. For me, it's really important to be honest when it comes to emotions. I feel like many people would like you to kind of stew in sad feelings. And I want to just, if you go and read this, Jenkan is always really 100% clear with the fact that she is from a different country. English is her second language, or maybe even her third language. And so she is not always, typing out everything or spelling it exactly perfectly, but I am getting the gist. So if I'm misreading it, please understand that I'm doing the best to put it together here, okay? But I believe what she's saying is I feel that many people would like you to stew in sad feelings under the carpet to vibrate louder, according to them. This occurs in tarot readers, mediums, many spiritual and religious environments as well. She says in her world, it's completely wrong and upside down to hold emotions that are good and let it out from the body. This makes me more angry and stressed and depressed, and so on, to keep feeling it inside. So I think what she's saying is she likes to release whatever her emotions are and not just keep it inside and to just let it go. She says she's listened to many tarot readers, etc., where they may promise that people will meet their twin flame and meet the great love of their life and so on. She says week in, week out, these people repeat the same tarot reading. I wanted to address that first. As a reader, I am often, the number one question that I'm asked as a professional intuitive is, when is love coming? Who is love coming? Is this love right? Love. And it reminds me of a historian intaking people that had just made the sojourn across the pond there to New York, and they were discussing love romances that had gone on whatever ship they had come across on when they got to Ellis Island. And there was documentation of the people that were just trying to give people names and assignments and get them off and off to their new life, where people were counseling people that were asking about love and what happened on the boat and why didn't they follow up and did they disappear and do you think I'll ever hear from them? We never aren't concerned about this. It's the stuff of Shakespeare. So the reason that tarot readers read that and they read it over and over again and it feels like, is this ever going to happen? Especially if you're waiting for it to happen. And she makes a good point. She says, these people play on people's emotions, and as long as they are positive, then the great love will come soon. This is how it goes. 1 year, 4 years, 7 years, and the great love has not yet appeared. And it's very likely that they may met the wrong one too, or that they have a fear of being alone. This was such a good point, Jenkan, I have to say. We all are finding love in different intervals. And the reason that those readers are reading, some of them are larks and scams and charlatans, okay? Meaning that they're taking advantage of their community. I have spent a lot of time immersed, especially in the last year, in the tarot community and really seeing who I enjoy. And now I've literally unsubscribed to so many and really follow a few that I feel like their ethos rings true for me. That's the way, one, that you should be picking a tarot reader. Regarding the infinite promise of love coming, it's because when you're reading, sometimes you do do see that thing. I think I even have a few videos that are up here too. But the thing about love is it's proactive. What are you going to do? And that's it. It's not about if you're on good behavior that it appears soon. It's about being like, I absolutely expect this, and I'm going to be proactive to create steps. Maybe that's another video about creating love proactively, okay? Instead of just being like, one day my prince will come for me. We are not in this Cinderella story. We are not passive. We are go-getters, empaths. And so it's important for you to use your discernment to see which reader is telling you the same story. Y'all, trust me, I look at my subscriber count, and I look at readers that I know are doing what Jenkan says, which is telling the same story week in and week out. They're trying to get to you, but they just can't. Oh no, the karmic's got them in their clutches. It's all BS as far as I'm concerned, because we have free will. And that's the lesson that you need to learn. And I think that sometimes there's an emotional masturbation that's happening when you're watching the readings in repetition. I know I went through that phase in the beginning of last year, Jenkan, just as full disclosure here, when I was trying to figure out some answers to things that weren't exactly clear. Though I had the gist of it, sometimes you just need to hear the truth that's a little deeper. I never got caught up, and you've seen me here in readings, like if I have to give a love message, I almost feel resentful of my angel because I never want to give anybody false hope, but that's because I'm integral. And that is what I think that you should know about your reader. There are some on here that are not just talking about love all the time. They're actually advising you about your life. The Ghetto Nun is one that comes to mind. So if you want to watch somebody that's not just going to be like, and then your masculine's going to sweep in on a white knight horse, and they didn't mean to be addicted, and they didn't mean to call you a whore. Yeah, they did. They did. And I'm the reader, and that's the reputation that I have with my clients that I freelance for out of here. People come to me all the time. I read your reviews. I see what they are. I get that it's 5 stars. This better be good. There's an expectation, Jenkan. But also then they're like, everybody says you tell the truth, and then they brace themselves, because that's what I've committed to do. But that does not mean that that's what other readers do, and that there are not charlatans out here trying to turn a coin, because they are. I've gone to readers for years, far before I ever freelanced, far before I was ever on here, and I remember working with people like at flea markets and stuff like that I knew were literally con artists that just wanted to keep their bills paid, okay? And keep their lights on or keep their booth rented. Everybody doesn't come with the same intention. There's a hustle in any community. Someone will toxify it, right? Like if we look at police, bad apples and all that jazz. Another video for another day. But that's what I wanted to address, Jenkan. You can't believe in the hype. You have to be out there living your life, right? And that doesn't mean being perfect, but being proactive to find love. She goes on to say, I look at the commentary fields where people are preferably enchanted and desperate instead of finding love in themselves. Good point, Jenkan. Sometimes people are desperate and they are enchanted, and so they want to believe that their person's going to come back. They did not release the outcome. For example, in my journey, because that's all I can speak about, meaning it's the only example I have that I've lived, while I counsel many people about this, in my example, as soon as I realized what a lark the whole thing was and what a con artist the person I was dealing with, I released the outcome. But I did not release the idea that I could manifest a healthy relationship that would work and be a nourishment and a replenisher to me as I could be in reciprocity to them. I release the idea of the person. A lot of us get hung up and watch those tarot readings for years, and I forbid it if you're over here. I hate it, because I do not want you to spend years in a fantasy. Guess what happened? And I've made videos about it. As soon as I dropped the fantasy, real connection, real love, real friendship came to me immediately. It was clear. There was articulate words. There were shared memories of first meetings and all that jazz. It was good stuff. And it was like, oh yeah, you're the person. You're my person. We have this twinsy energy. It's nice. Whatever it may be, it was something that came to me because I stopped thinking it could be only one person. That was part of the con. So that's the thing. You got to free yourself from that. Free yourself from mental slavery. What did Bob Marley say? None but ourselves can free our mind. If you want to be entrapped in that loop and watching tarot readings for the rest of your life in perpetuity that aren't actually being of service to you and helping you rise higher, then that's your choice. We all have a way to live. Some of us love to live in the fantasy. So I counsel clients to this day that are still pining away, even though the person is married, had new kids, etc., and they're still like, yeah, but when are they going to break up? That is the place that we can get stuck stuck, and that is very normal. I do not want to besmirchify anybody, as Forrest Rocks would say. I do not want to besmirch that energy, because it's a place that we all can be. I just refused it. I just was like, absolutely not. I had a different kind of tenacity regarding a reconnecting and a applying myself to love. I'm a hard worker when it comes to things, and not everybody feels that way. Some of us just want to kind of sit down there and be depressed, or maybe like engage in that kind of repetition and think that that's going to be okay. And it's not because I'm so special, guys. It's just because I refused. I put up another video earlier today. I refused to accept that that was it. I was like, wait a minute, God, I've got nothing but a healthy ration of ish. And you're not going to tell me that that's it for me, that at this point in my life, there will be no one else who is friendly, or no one else who is kind, and no one else who loves me the way that I have loved thine, which is other people that I've given to. So that's a place that you have to check yourself. And I refused. I negotiated, and I was like, listen, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to be in this heartbreak, hashtag, okay, take a minute. And then I'm bouncing out of it. And I'm not going to be looking back and being like, oh, for where art thou? Oh, Romeo. Oh, F them. It was a lesson. You were the student. They were the teacher. You don't stay in that class forever. You graduate. If you're in that place where you need tarot, it can be very healing, but use it what it's for. If you're on this channel, you don't stay laying on the floor. We ascend. Amen? She goes on to say, you mentioned God here, and speak a little about it. Do you know Edgar Cayce or Dr. Ramani? I love Dr. Ramani. Dr. Ramani has helped me understand and discern narcissism for years. I have been paying attention to her. Dr. Shafali talks about this as well. Edgar Cayce, absolutely. Edgar Cayce came into my frame of view, Jenkan, when I was probably in my mid-20s. I was working with I guess she was an astrologer. She wrote the almanacs. Her name is Dickie Jo Mullen. She still exists, is alive, and has like Facebook streamings. She would hold seances. I've been to some of her seances. And I think she would definitely call herself like a white witch. And I got into trouble with her once because I was coming from a very Christian background. I was like, I don't like witches. And then she kind of frowned and was like, well, excuse me. But she does earth magic and whatever. I've become far more liberal to understand that there are different delineations of light workers and bright workers and dark workers, and we all have a purpose. However, Dickie Jo is where I learned about Edgar Cayce, because she actually worked with Edgar Cayce. She is an older lady, and she actually interned for a while in England under the tutelage of Edgar Cayce while he was still working. He was considered the dream medium, and that is something that I've always really taken a liking to, because I get a lot of information via dreams as well. So I always loved that he was pushing science forward and pushing forward the feminine sciences as a metaphysics, which is not something that can be proven, but was actually accurate. So yes, I know Edgar Cayce. Do you have experiences in good meditation? There's an ocean out there. Meditation for me usually starts with my rain stick, Jenkan. I keep it near me so that I can decompress when I come in. I keep it near me so that I can decompress in between a call if I need to. And when I begin my morning quietly, it is under this sound. There are lots of guided meditations. I listen to meditations when I go to sleep at night. I will link a couple down here as well. I listen to meditations about abundance. I listen to meditations about health. I listen to meditations about everything, but then I do a lot of meditations, yes, myself, okay? There is an ocean, so I could not list for you all the meditations. I think that's what's so important about your intuition, is you find what resonates with you, and then you go for that and incorporate it into your life. Here's the other thing she says. How do you view the energies that stimulate now in the world, and where do you stand true to your belief of God? Have you heard about Zoe Davy and others that are talking about cosmic language? I've not heard about Zoe Davy, though cosmic language I think is something that is universal and has been always happening. We have various religions and various sects of religions and denominations is the word I was looking for. However, what we're all talking about is the universal energy that is God. Just because I say God, Jenkan, please do not be dissuaded by that. I'm saying universe, I'm saying God, they're one and the same. Because I grew up Pentecostal and Christian, it's God, Jesus, that's the name, and I like that. But guess what? It's Muhammad, It is Jehovah Jireh. It is El Shaddai. God in so many languages. It is the oneness. And that's what I believe in. And that's what we are. I am not familiar specifically with cosmic language regarding Zoe David, so I never want to tell you anything that isn't true. She says, how do you view different healers, mediums, and light workers? Do you think people can benefit from them while you're working on your own journey? Can these people make it easier for an empath not to fall into the same trap with energies that are not useful for them to have around? I think that there are a plethora, a myriad of healers and light workers that feel different for you. As I'm recommending the Ghetto Nun, that may not ring true. There's something about her grittiness and her I was in a real gang and I may have really actually killed people. Not so much that I relate to, but there's something earthy and grounded. Never killed anybody, not my thing. And she's never said she has either, allegedly, okay? But she does speak of her experiences and watching people be killed in front of her and things like that. For whatever reason, I relate to her grounded energy. I have a video up here of Sonia Choquette, who was a healer, light worker, bright worker, all that jazz, who I didn't relate to till she went through a divorce, and then I got it because she was almost vibrating too high and it was too airy-fairy and I didn't relate. But you see that everybody gets a piece of the healer they need in a different way when they need it. And so I'm a healer on here. I transmute energy. I'm a therapist of healers, if you will, and I walk you through the darker stuff. My mom always used to say to me, how come with everybody you have to get to their guts and to the belly of a matter? Well, little did I know it was my calling. It's the very thing my clients comment about. How do I get on the phone with you and I'm asking you about, does he love me, yes or no? And before we get off, I feel like I've healed some past issues that I had with my grandfather that I didn't know was there. That's not my necessarily like all me. It is my gifting. It is how I allow myself to be used as conduit. That's what I do. But that's a different healer than maybe right for you. So that's why your intuition matters. You have to find the healer that resonates at your vibration. When we're in karmic spiritual warfare, I watch a lot of Daisy the Professional High Priestess. Now I can't watch her. It doesn't mean she's still not doing her work for people that are in that stage. But I no longer am in a warfare. I gotta fight you. I did that already. That part of my battle is done. A lot of people respond lovely to the Quietest Revolution as a reader because she's also doing a tarot therapy and diving deeply, right? Some people love Seven Tarot, who does channeling before. He's a Pisces who does channeling. There are so many various healers. Michael Beckwith is a healer I've responded to. Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay. These are all healers that have been great in their day. T.D. Jakes, Oprah. Some people see it as that regarding her words that are as salve. I'm not saying she's anybody's healer. I know that gets really touchy for people. My point is you have to find who resonates with you. And I think we all benefit from it. And I love a buffet. I love a smorgasbord. So there are different people that your angels bring in to work with you that are teachers. So Jenkan, the saying is when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The same thing is true for your angels. Your angels are healers and they're always near. And various angels come in to work with you at different stages of your life. So that's really important to understand as well. I knew someone who passed away. Dr. Shafali was sent her way to help her through parenting. Whether she took the advice or not, that was a healer for her. And she may move on and maybe it will be somebody else who specializes in other things that helps her heal in the future. Passed away. So you know what it is. Let's see. And that's it. That was the end of her questions, guys, which is perfect timing because I've got another outside client that I've got to work with here shortly. So what I will what I will tell you is you can leave questions like this below if you would like me to make a video addressing whatever your question is. If it's a paragraph, I'm going to answer it in a video rather than just write you back because there may be some food in there for you. We all have various healing to do. Do not get caught up on anybody's language about God or universe. It's the same energy, the creator of all things, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. We cannot even fathom from where these galaxies were spun. It is so grand and so infinitesimal. Our little human brains can't wrap our minds around it. So we'll put a moniker on anything so that we can explain it and understand it. But that does not mean that we can bind it because it confounds us, okay? And that is okay to realize and release. Stop getting hung up on the spirituality aspect and the denominations and which sect, because that's how we divide each other up. We are one. And if there is nothing that this pandemic hasn't done, it's taught us that lesson. Universe, one world, one universe, one species that can be eradicated should the higher source, universal language, cosmic language, God of wonders above all majesty decide that he's tired or it's tired of us, okay? Whatever makes you comfortable is what I want to make you comfortable with. I need you. It's not that I just want you to be okay. I have my beliefs and no one's shaking that from me. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to shun anybody else, because that's the very thing I found disdainful about Christianity, was the fact that they decided they were the only ones who had it figured out, when it looks like to me the whole world has an idea about who this God, universe, and source is about. Amen? All right, guys. So good to share some energy with you. Come back and join me next time. Be sure to leave your comments below if you would like me to answer in a video format a long form question. If you're interested in booking with me, you can find me on evolvingwithmonette.com, and we can get to spend some time together. Come back and join me next time, and we will evolve together.